magic inside of you.
Hi guys, it's Elena and I'm enchanted to have you be here on my channel. Hello and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're new, consider liking, subscribing, becoming part of my little YouTube family, and if you've been here before, hello and welcome back. To each and every one of you, lots of warm cyber hugs, and hopefully you and yours are safe. So I want to start something new on these YouTubes that I think that I was working on my way towards of doing. Like, you know that gut feeling or that like intuition that's pulling you in a certain direction. You don't really want to go in that direction, but it feels like you need to. Yeah, this is kind of one of those. So I'm pretty nervous about starting this and pretty excited, and hopefully things will go over well. I've been asked so many questions regarding this over the years of my practice. Please for guidance, request for guidance, please to teach. And so many questions that I've lost count of which ones I've already answered and which ones I still need to answer. And I usually denied such individual requests because there's just so much knowledge, so much information out there that I just wasn't sure where to start. And I couldn't figure out what's the best way to go about it, and hopefully this little YouTube series that I'm going to be doing is going to be a good way to kind of go about it and to hopefully build a nice warm community of pagans and witches and magic practitioners. So, what am I teaching, you might ask? If you've been a subscriber to my channel for a while, you kind of know that I've been planning this and preparing this. If you are on my Google Classroom, you kind of already know a little bit of things that I'm going to be talking about. I have a list of topics and information and kind of already discussion posts and things like that posted. You might already have an idea of what I'm going to be teaching, but if you're new and it's the first time you're seeing me, I'm going to go about kind of explaining and providing an introduction to these lessons. So the topics that will be covered are going to be based on magic and the umbrella term of paganism, so no individual religion, but definitely magic, spells, workings, and all of my favorite things. Now, I don't have official qualifications, but I have been a solitary practitioner and user of the magic arts for over 14 years now, so hopefully it gives me some credibility to share my knowledge and things that I've learned along the way, along my journey, and experiences and stuff like that. Now, just because I have a double-digit number of years that I've been practicing this does not mean that I know everything. I'm still learning. There is still so much out there to learn, and maybe by creating this community we can learn from each other, share experiences, kind of go over what we've already been through, and hopefully guide to those following in our footsteps. So stay active in the comments, stay active on the Google Classroom, post comments, post questions, post suggestions, your experiences, so on and so forth. I have been initially inspired by the Wiccan tradition of studying for a year and a day before you can be initiated into the Wiccan religion, and I have created these lessons, or not all of them are created, but I have mapped out enough lessons to cover over a year and then some. So I have totally exceeded my expectations, and I hope to keep moving forward with this, to keep going with this, and to hopefully help people along the way and to meet some wonderful and awesome magic practitioners. Now, these lessons will not be on Wicca or any specific religion. I will avoid teaching correspondences with religion as best as I can. Majority of the things can be under the umbrella term of pagan religion, but nothing specific, nothing fully individual, and a little bit eclectic. What I will be teaching will be things about nature, witchcraft, and the use of magic. Although every religion does practice magic, whether you realize it or not. Now, I don't mean magic as M-A-G-I-C, the sleight of hand that you might see performers do, or at a circus, or at a show, or things like that. I'm talking about magic as an M-A-G-I-C-K, which is the manipulation of the energies within us and around us. And there are so many topics that fall underneath this category, and it makes me so excited to talk about this and share it with you and to go forward with these videos. Brief overview of some of the things that I will be talking about throughout these videos are subjects on spell work, mindfulness, manifestation, meditation, science, physics, divination, astrology, herbs, chakras, crystals, nature, banishment, psychology, demonology, angelology, spirits in general, shadow work, tarot, deities, and how to work with them. The list can just go on and on and on and on, so let's just get excited to talk about these things. On the Google Classroom, which I will have linked below in the description, as well as in, I believe, the top comment, I'm going to try to pin it there, I have a more comprehensive list of topics and subjects that I will be talking about, but that does not cover everything, and I will update it as time goes by, just so I can have an overall clearer list and kind of overview, especially by chapter basis, of the topics that are being talked about, and just to kind of have a little reference guide for the future of these videos. I want you to know that I am still learning too. Even though I've been practicing for so long, there's some things that I do know, but some things do change throughout time, and things that I talk about in this video maybe 2 years down the line, or a week down the line, or a day down the line, I could receive different information, different knowledge, and change my interpretation of things, which is totally normal because knowledge is this ever-growing, ever-changing beast that you can never really capture exactly and fully, but I hope to do my best. And again, you are very welcome and encouraged to be active in the comments and in the Google Classroom just to share your experiences, your thoughts, what you have learned along the way as well. Or, for instance, if I go over a topic and you have a different interpretation or a different view or a different thought, please, civil debates are totally acceptable, but civil, keyword. Now, talking about comments and being civil and being kind to one another, this isn't your cup of tea or these topics make you uncomfortable, leave. There's that little button down there somewhere on the side that lets you pause the video and makes me stop talking, which gives you an opportunity to leave this channel and go do something else on the internet. I don't want any negativity against me, against my channel, or against any other people participating in the comments or in my community. Be nice and respectful in the comments. Like I said, be civil. We're in a wonderful world where so many different religions, different practices, different thoughts, different peoples, the beautiful community of individuality is out and around us with different beliefs and different perspectives. So be kind. And if you do choose to join my Google Classroom, there is a quiz on there for you to take. Again, it's basically on house rules and for you to promise not to be an asshole. So if this is something that you're not interested in learning, if this is something that you're against, please go do something else. Okay, so let's talk about how these lessons are going to go. There will be a new lesson every day, pretty much every day. I will take a break of a day or two between chapters just to kind of catch up on any questions, answer them, or to see if I need to go in a different direction or recover a topic specifically, just to make sure that there's full understanding and things like that. So I'm hoping to have days and lessons and wonderful information for you to digest and interpret. So make sure you hit that notification bell and the subscribe button somewhere around there. That way you get notified when these videos are posted and you can keep up on the videos. I want to make these videos anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes long. That way they won't take up too much of your time, because I know you're a busy individual and you have other responsibilities that you need to take care of. I will try to post these videos kind of like a first thing in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I don't know where you are in the world, but Eastern Standard Time is the time that I'm going by since I am located in Massachusetts. And I kind of encourage you to watch these videos first thing in the morning. That way you can start off your day hopefully feeling inspired, and it hopefully will get your mind to think, to comprehend things consciously or subconsciously. That way you're able to kind of digest the information and at the end of the day work on homework or journaling prompts that I provide. Yes, there will be homework and journaling prompts, but all will be completely optional, and I'm just trying to create content and engagement just to help get you to think, help you to incorporate magic into your everyday life, and to kind of go about world through a different perspective. I'll try to be as organized as possible and as clear as possible. There won't be any super catchy titles or anything super fancy or clickbaity in the videos. I just want to create a nice collection of lessons for you to be able to go through and interpret and digest properly. Through the Google Classroom, I will also have links for any downloads, PDFs, or any other extra things that I want to incorporate alongside with the lessons. And I just want to make things as clear as possible for you to follow along. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out for me either through the comments, Google Classroom, or Instagram, any way like that. If it's a question that I've already answered, I might reference you to the specific area, and if it's a question that I haven't answered, I'll do my best to answer it. And throughout the videos, when I take these breaks, if I need to do like a Q&A type of thing, just to do an overall broad answering of questions that have been asked multiple times, I will do that as well. The way I want to set up my teachings is in chapters. I think that might be the best way to call them, and at the beginning of each chapter I kind of want to go over some basic and general information of what the chapter is going to be about, some tools and references that I might recommend for you to use. Again, all will be completely optional for you to do, but I do want to provide some more tangible goods for you to kind of conjure up some magic alongside with me. There never should be an exact item that I will tell you to get. For instance, you need this one thing and you can't do anything without that one thing. It'll be more of like a general overview or a general suggestion, general request, general guidance, just to kind of help you along your magical practice. And all of them should be optional. I will try my best to provide alternatives for certain items in case you aren't able to get them, or in case you don't really want to get any of the items. But I just want to, like I said, I want to provide more like tangible goods, things for you to work and incorporate into your everyday life. That way you can make magic more of a part of you rather than just learning it and hearing it and just watching it. So I want you to be able to do it as well. I'll try to provide Amazon links, or my Etsy shop might have some of these items, and just to kind of give you a little bit of a reference of things that I might suggest. But first things first, you are more than encouraged to use items you already have at home. I don't want you to go out and buy anything unless you are absolutely sure you need it. Magic isn't about items or things, it's about you, but some of these items might just help you along the way. So before you go about and checking out those links that I might provide or any suggestions that I might make sure you check at home if you already have those items, or you are welcome to procure them from anywhere else. As I've mentioned previously, some of the lessons might also have printouts or PDFs or other collection of media that I might think might help you out. All will be linked in my Google Classroom in hopefully a very organized fashion. And all of this will be completely free, but remember, I am human, and if there are any typos or anything is not exactly on time, just let me know, reach out to me, and I'll do my best to correct it, to fix it, and to kind of get back on track. Now, talking about me being a human, my health is not the greatest, as I've mentioned in my Google Classroom before. So if there are days or times that I need to take a break and step back, please be understanding. And know that I'm going to pick these lessons up, these videos up as soon as I can. I want to design these lessons kind of in like a linear fashion where one video builds up on top of the next video. That way you're not being fully overwhelmed with just a bunch of information at once, and that way I won't kind of glaze over the topics. I want to go in depth and be as detailed as possible. I know it could be tempting to skip around and ignore the parts that you're not really interested in, especially the basics or certain meditations or things like that, but these skills I'm trying to get you to build a good solid foundation first. That way you'll be more comfortable with more in-depth and detailed magic later on. I want you to be able to protect yourself first, to be able to keep your health and sanity well first. So just try to keep up with the videos as best as you can. Go at your own pace, but try not to skip around, go back and forth, skip ahead, or ignore some of these videos. I know it could be tempting. I've done things like that before as well, thinking, oh, I know this. This isn't something I really need. I've read about this already. But all these videos will have a little bit of a practice for you to kind of go along with. And I really encourage you to work on it, to try it, to do it. That way you're building up knowledge in steps and not just compiling a ton of information all at once. I don't want to overwhelm anybody, and I don't want to do basics of just small bits of information. I kind of want to go in depth into certain topics. That way you're able to kind of get a much broader perspective and not just little tidbits of information. So if you're really committed to learning, I suggest you follow along on the proper order of videos. Participate in the homeworks, discussions, comments, ask questions if you are confused about anything, and just be active. Again, if you miss a day or two, don't worry about it. Just go back, pick up where you left off, and don't think that you need to be on the exact day that the video is coming out. So work at your own pace. I know life gets the best of us on any occasion, and just do your best. Have an open mind, an open perspective, and kind of be open to new information. And I do recommend that you work on the homework assignments. Yes, there will be homework assignments, but don't worry, it's not going to be like your traditional school that you're used to. It's all on magic and witchy things, even though it might not seem so at first. Do your best to kind of participate in it. Like I said, I want to create lessons where you integrate things into your everyday life and kind of have an overall understanding of the way magic works. Okay, so that little bit of introduction is out of the way. It's kind of a long-winded statement. Hopefully I can get my point across. Hopefully you guys are interested, inspired, and hopefully we can start building a wonderful community. I know I already have a ton of you on my Google Classroom and a ton of you participating, and it's wonderful and delightful, and I'm so excited to keep moving forward with this. Alright, since I got most of that out of the way, let's talk about safety. First off, and maybe the most important, as I'm like banging my fist against my hand, this is probably the most important safety concern of all. If doing these lessons, learning these terms, watching these videos compromises the sanctity of your home and your environment, just wait until a better time that you can learn. In smaller terms, meaning if you're a minor and you have parents or guardians that are against these topics, against these lessons, against these beliefs. I know I grew up in a household similar to this, and I had to practice everything in secret and hide everything, and then so many things got thrown out and destroyed, and a lot of information got lost. I would highly recommend you to just wait until you are fully responsible for yourself and are able to take full control of your life. You know what I mean? I hope that expresses my concern for the safety of your environment accurately. I don't want your parents to come at me, so make sure you are being safe and respecting your guardians. Now, onto other safeties to be concerned of. We will be working on some videos with nature and the outside world, the wilderness, so to speak. And on occasion, part of the plans for these lessons is to go outside, is to participate with nature, again, in the outside world. I'm pointing that way because there's a window right there. It could be that way for you, it could be that way for you, or it could be behind you, but just outside world and nature in general. If you are on that day of the lesson and the weather isn't good, either it's raining, thunderstorming, snowing, hurricaning, whatever the case may be, hold off on that video and come back to it the following day. I don't want you to compromise your health or safety to do something just for the sake of a lesson or homework. Be cautious, be mindful, make sure that you don't do anything crazy just for the sake of following along or being on time. That's why I want to record these videos, have them posted on YouTube so you can go back and forth and reflect on them whenever the situation is best for you. We will also be working with the 5 general elements: water, fire, earth, air, and spirit, and there are safety requirements alongside all of those, but mainly common sense. For water, don't flood your house, don't damage any furniture, make sure you are doing it in a safe environment, in a waterproof bowl, so that you won't make a mess or destroy any furniture or anything around you. Fire safety is a little bit more concerning. I really don't want you to burn your house down. On some videos, I will encourage you to light candles or work with an open flame. We might be using incense or smudge sticks or things along the lines of fire. So make sure you have a proper spot for those things. A simple and cheap way to do it is to find a ceramic tile. I know a lot of hardware stores have discounted tiles and things like that. That way you have a little fireproof spot for you to work with the element fire on, and avoid working next to papers, fabric, furniture, you know, just the basic common sense things. Because I really don't want you to burn your house down or your apartment, so I don't claim any responsibilities if something were to happen. Now, the element earth can be a variety of things. It could be dirt, it could be baking, it could be making bread, cooking, anything along those lines. So again, try not to make a mess, especially if you are not in your own home or in your own environment. So just be respectful and mindful, and again, use common sense. For air safety, we will be using incenses, smoke cleansings, and music and sound, things like that, to go just give you a basic overview of things. So be respectful, especially with smoke and sound. Don't be too disruptive to your environment. If you have neighbors, or if you have a health concern where you cannot be around strong smells or smoke or incense, things like that, or if you're living with someone who has health concerns regarding those things, there is always an alternative to using a different item. So I will be providing alternatives for what to use, and if I haven't, you can look up an alternative, and if you still haven't come up with a solution, you can always reach out and ask what an alternative could be. That way you can be respectful and mindful of others in your environment, of yourself, your health, and everything like that. Alright, so spirit safety, and that might be the most undercover hazard ever. Working with energies, conjuring up magic, and dealing with the spiritual realm can be exhausting, and they can definitely take a toll on the physical body. So if you're newer to this, or if you're just starting to follow along with my videos and lessons, I recommend just doing the practice spell work or assignment that I have for that day. Being able to manipulate your internal energies and external energies and dealing with the spiritual realm can be a little bit tricky. It can get you tired, exhausted, sleepy, and possibly faint. Please don't faint. Again, I'm not taking any responsibilities. I am trying to inform you of common sense use. So be cautious and listen to your body. If something feels like too much, stop and try again. I don't want you to overexhaust yourself. Since all of these energies reside within your body, and most of, especially the beginning lessons, are going to be regarding energies within you, you also need to take care of your spiritual body and your physical body, which means eating the proper foods, drinking enough water, exercising, you know, all those other basic health things people try to drill into you. Yeah, that helps out with your spiritual practice as well, because I don't want you to not only exhaust your mental and spiritual body while practicing magic or doing spell work or things like that. I want to make sure that your physical body is healthy and capable of doing the best you can. So I think this kind of covers overall the whole safety aspect of these videos. I want everyone to practice magic safely, mindfully, to be aware of your own body, your own needs, your own emotions, your environment, and anybody else that's within your environment. Whew! Okay, that was a lot to go over in one video, and I probably overexceeded the time that I was going to be within. Hopefully I'm not taking up too much of your time, but I just kind of want to get a good introduction in and kind of let you know what you're signing yourself up for. voluntarily since there's no actual sign-up sheet. So if you're still here and still continuing on, you get 11 awesome points. Why awesome points? I don't know. Why 11? I don't know. Just trying to engage you, okay? Now in the first chapter it's going to be some introductory terms, some basic information, reasons why we're starting off with basics, things like that along those lines. And the supplies needed for this section, and to be honest throughout the whole shebang of the videos, is a good notebook and a good writing utensil. You can use your computer or iPad to keep notes or keep track of things, but I highly suggest going at it the old-fashioned way with a pen on paper. I feel like there's something so grounding, so wonderful about writing in between a beautiful notebook on nice crisp pages. Maybe I'm just a stationery fanatic, but I would highly recommend getting a physical, tangible notebook for you to take notes and keep track. Later in the lessons plan, I'm going to have you start off your own book of shadows, one that you'll keep all your spells in, your rituals in, any information in. So you have two options going about this. You can get a notebook that will be specifically for journaling, for keeping your thoughts, for doing the homeworks, and kind of keeping track of your progress. Or you can have it be as a combination with your book of shadows. Now later on in the lessons, I'm going to go through in more detail and depth of what a book of shadows is, how to start your own, and we'll kind of do a alongside start of making a book of shadows. I do have a video on kind of how you can start yours now. I'll probably link it up at the top and definitely down in the description. But basically, I will have you do a specific collection for spells and rituals, but if you want these lessons, your journaling and prompts and thoughts and experiences to be part of the same notebook, you can totally do that. I know mine is, and I use the ARC notebook system. Again, if you've seen that video of the Book of Shadows, you kind of know that it's very interchangeable. It's almost like a 3-ring binder, but prettier. It's like more aesthetic. 3-ring binders work great, just like any kind of notebook. The one that I'm using is also part of the ARC notebook system, and what I love about these, again, is just how easily pages come apart and go put back together, and it looks like a spiral bound notebook, and I feel like it has kind of like a more flexible and cleaner edge than a binder does. But whatever you have on hand currently would work, or you can get something special. Totally up to you. Now, I would recommend you to get something special for these lessons, for these videos. Something that inspires you to write, and if you're like a stationery fanatic like I am, any excuse for a new notebook, I will like jump right on it. So here's maybe an excuse for a new notebook for you, however your situation allows you to be in. But I want you to get something that inspires you to write in it, that you look on it and you want to open the booklet, you want to start writing inside, you want to start working with it. And I do recommend the ARC notebook system. Again, it's completely up to you what you use. It could be any sort of notebook system at all. I'm gonna have a link of me doing a botanical book, which kind of shows you the exact customizability of an ARC notebook system. It's my botanical Bible that I've made a while back. Or you can watch the videos of like starting your book of shadows, that type of thing, which I also will link somewhere. But I would highly recommend something that you're able to move around and interchange pages, add more pages. So like a binder or adjustable notebooks, anything like that. It's completely up to you. Another thing that you are going to need is a good writing utensil. Pencil works great, pen works great, markers, gel pens if you like color. Literally any sort of writing utensil that works with you works great. Again, I'm biased towards Frixion pens and highlighters. They erase, which is so cool, and they write like a pen, and they have multiple colors, and then they erase completely off the page, which is just like mind-blowing magic right there. So I highly recommend those, but again, any sort of pen would work. Although if you do go alongside with friction pens, know that they erase with heat. That's why friction is in the name. And be careful not to leave any notebooks in direct sunlight or in a hot car on a hot day. I've been using them for years and years for schoolwork and my bullet journal and things like that. I've never really had any issues, but I do avoid leaving my, for instance, bullet journal in the seat of my car if I go somewhere and it's a hot day, because I might come back and my to-do list is completely gone. Wouldn't be exactly a bad thing. That way I can say like I have nothing that I need to do, but I don't want to lose any information, and I just want to give you a heads up so that you don't lose any information either. Alright, so homework. As I've mentioned, lessons will come alongside with homeworks or journaling prompts or any other external links, lessons, things that I want you to kind of brush up on, maybe read or watch other videos or things like that. All are completely optional, but I would highly recommend you kind of try them out if you want to integrate things into your life. But I do highly recommend that you follow along and participate, and I highly encourage you to do these homeworks and assignments. I mean, like I said, they're not going to be like traditional homework stuff. They're going to be witchy things, and I think they're fun. But again, it's all up to you on what you have available for time, space, or any other responsibilities. Now, for your first assignment, I would recommend and encourage you to get a journal or notebook or binder, something that inspires you, something that just pulls you forward and you look at it and it's like, ooh, I want to write in there. So be mindful of what you pick out, either if it be from your stack of notebook collections like I have, or if it's something from the store. If it is something new that you're going to buy, I would highly recommend going to a store so that you can touch it, feel it, smell it, see it. I know it's a little bit challenging with now times being kind of crazy, but I would recommend doing that. If not, getting something online works. Just make sure you look at a couple different options so that you can pick out one that truly kind of pulls on your heartstrings. Having a journal or notebook that kind of goes isn't exactly inspirational and won't really pull you forward to working with it. So I want you to try to get something that you will really encourage yourself to work with it and spend time with it. Because if you will be following along these lessons, you might be using it for about a year or more. We shall see. And there's just something so lovely and delightful about filling up a notebook. I just finished my 2020 bullet journal and like the pages are fat and used up, and there's just so much energy and love put in between these pages. It's just amazing. Now, take time to find this journal. Don't just rush through it or see the first thing or get the first thing that you see or anything like that. So spend a little bit of time looking for like that perfect one. Again, if you can and if you feel inclined for it. Now, when you do get that journal or binder or notebook, make it your own. Write your name in that cover page. Claim that journal. Give your journal a name. Bring it to life. Give it energy to help work with you and to help keep you mindful of what you put between the pages. And on the first page, draw or sketch something that inspires you for witchiness, for magic, so that when you turn to it, it's kind of like a reminder of what you're here for and what you're trying to do. And if you're not super artistic, use stickers. Decorate it. Go crazy with your creativity. Print out a picture, stick it in there. Do whatever you can to kind of have that first page when you open it be a true inspiration for yourself. Maybe put down quotes, maybe put down other items, anything you want. And this would work great if you are reusing an older journal or if you're using just a simple 3-ring binder. So it doesn't really matter if you can't get a new journal. Just make sure that first cover page is yours. It has your energies in it. It has your kind of entity in it. I'm trying to find a good explanation for it. Just make it yours, claim it, give the journal a name, and if you feel so inclined, share your inspiration with me. Post it on Instagram, tag me in it. I would love to see your creativity. I'd love to see what you've come up with. And after time, after you've connected with your journal, after you've figured out what you want to put on that first page, after you've come up with a name for it, and you've connected with the pages that are going to be going in between, I want you to ponder and meditate on these 4 thoughts. What interested you in learning? Why are you here? What drew you to click on this video? What are you hoping to accomplish? What are you hoping to learn? And what are your expectations? Maybe that's more than 4 things, but it's kind of along the general basis of it. Take time to think on those questions, meditate, contemplate, and write down in full detail as you can of what you feel about it, and hopefully this will kind of help those inspirational juices flowing. I believe this wraps up the first video. Again, it's a little bit longer than I expected it to be and packed with a ton of things I need you to kind of think about, consider, and do. I'm truly so excited to go on this journey with you and to help guide you and to kind of inspire you, maybe, at least definitely share my experiences and share some do's and don'ts, and maybe provide some mistakes that I have done that I wish you won't make the same mistakes. So I'm totally excited to keep going forward with these lessons. I really do encourage you to be active in the comments on the Google Classroom, to ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can. But if you do ask questions specifically pertaining to a video or a chapter or a section, anything like that, I want you to let me know which video and which chapter it is, especially later on once I have more videos up. That way I'm able to reference and to see exactly what you might be confused on and how to best answer your question and to best provide some more information or future guidance. And especially if you're joining after the initial launch of these videos, I'm trying to make these videos so that they're not time constrained, meaning you can start at any time, you can keep going forward at any time. None of them are going to be linked to specific dates or specific times, so you don't have to watch them on a specific occasion. It's just going to be a collection of lessons that you can hopefully learn from. So I think that's it for this portion of it. Hopefully you guys are inspired to keep going forward. Hopefully you guys are excited as much as I am. Maybe like, subscribe, the whole shebang. We have tons of magical fun here, and we will have tons more magical fun in the future. So, you know, do the whole YouTube thing, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!